day 16 of 100 Days of Code as I'm learning the Python programming language. And again, this video is to hold myself accountable and track my progress as I'm learning. So today I spent time and pretty much basically just reinforce many of the concepts that I've been learning. I wanted to just step back and holistically look at the Python programming language altogether and fill some of the gaps in my learning so far. And so I focused in on basic patterns in programming, three of which are sequential, the repeated, and the conditional. What you see here on the screen is the sequential pattern. So everything is executed in a sequence. You don't see any indentations. The repeated uses the for and while loops because you're having uh, an iteration that's repeatedly executed before your program hopefully ends. And then conditional uses the if or elif statements to determine whether a statement is true, and if not, it'll execute based on those conditions. So I looked at the basic patterns in programming. I also went over some of the IDEs that I've been utilizing and learned about some other ones as well. So the one that I've been using most frequently is Replit, which is an online IDE. It's cool because you don't have to install anything. So very beginner user friendly. I do like that obviously it has code intelligence to help you if you're making mistakes or if you get errors as you are coding. And I have this code here that I came up with, and I just want to show you the differences in different IDEs. So this one's Replit. Again, I said this one's pretty cool. I did learn about Colab, which is Google's notebook. This is my first time being introduced to it today on the Women Who Code session. And if I take this, I like that it's a notebook. And so you can add images and text and put your code in there. And so if I take that code, paste it in here and execute this, you'll see that it does the same thing. So this is pretty much asking, I've set a variable and it's asking the user to input everybody's name separated by commas. The names has a variable and it's going to split it by the comma. And then I've imported the random module here. It'll print out the names and then it'll randomly choose a name and that will print out based on the name chosen. It'll add the string, will pay today. So enter a few names here. And you see it executes. And if you look here on Replit, it executes the same. So no difference in how it executes. It's still going to work the same. But there are differences as far as this one's fun. It's a notebook for one. It doesn't have to be installed, which is the same as Replit. It's pretty fun in the sense that you can change it, and it has this miscellaneous section where you can actually add corgi or kitties to it. I know some of you probably won't be interested in that. Um, so it kind of keeps you engaged as you're coding, and you can kind of play through the different settings to determine. You can run, like you can highlight and run certain parts of your code, which is nice. If I take that same code and enter it, I have been using Anaconda. I've had this on my computer for a while. I use Jupyter Notebook. I also use VS Code. So if I launch VS Code, let's see, I have one here launched. If I take this and enter this in, if so for VS Code, I've actually edited the JSON file, and you can pull in uh, different color patterns to kind of tailor it to what you like. I do like that about that. I love that it has the encode intelligence. So again, this one's helping you, as are the other ones, as you're writing your code in case you make errors or anything. And if I run this, you'll see that it still executes the same. So no difference there. And then I also have PyCharm on this computer. So I'll input the same and then I'll run it. And again, I've color coordinated this one. But it executes the same here as well. So there are differences. You can play around with the settings again, change the font, change the text size, change the coloring for each of them. However, the PyCharm and the VS Code have to be installed on your device, which is different from uh, the others. So Replit and Colab are just a friendly web-based IDE.